I am going to unmute David. Okay, so before I unmute David, I'm just going to do a little introduction. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Sanaz Human. Of course, I take care of all of your product development, of course, operational aspect of Opulence Global. I want to welcome each and every single one of you to the call. Of course, I have my partner in crime with me on this call, David O, who's absolutely not only instrumental, but of course, motivational when it comes to our regulatory, our distribution, and of course, all the great things that we create and do at Opulence Global. With that, I want to welcome each and every single one of you, whether it is your first call or whether it's your 100th call. We do these calls every single Monday night at 8 p.m., same time, same channel, same fabulous faces to give you inside scoop about what you need about our product lines. So I'm going to welcome the rest of you and let's get the call started. Rena says, I love the toothpaste. Natalia. Good night, team from hot St. Lucia. Well, you know what? Enjoy your heat. We are supposed to be having spring weather. It is 3 degrees and it was snowing today. Canadian weather, go figure. Tanny Whitmere, good evening, Snaz. And David from USA. Mavis says, good evening, Snaz from Toronto. Hello, Boris from Alberta. So, David, you ready to rock and roll?
I am here, and I'm ready to go.
Awesome. So, I guess, David, we shouldn't feel too bad because he says that he shoveled snow today.
Yeah, makes me long for St. Lucia, let me tell you.
For those of you who don't have snow, enjoy it. All right,
oh
so
my
David,
God.
we're going to start our call off tonight with the big comment that we got. Everybody absolutely loves our toothpaste. Tell me a little bit about what makes our toothpaste so different than everything else that's in the market, because you know there's a lot of toothpaste in the market and there's a lot of $3. We have this absolutely phenomenal revolutionary toothpaste that has come out and we cannot keep it on the shelf. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, Sanaz, first of all, thanks for always the nice introduction. It's always appreciated. But really, when we take a look at something like our toothpaste, we removed fluoride, and fluoride is something that's been always controversial. Fluoride has poisoned, on average, believe it or not, 20,000 Americans per year. That means hospitalized because they've swallowed the toothpaste. There are a lot of other issues associated with swallowing toothpaste, and it's shown that it's not safe. It's led to diabetes complications in children, stomatitis, which is irritation of the mouth, and there's a whole host of things that have happened. And so we've taken that out and we replaced it with microsilver. And microsilver actually does something. It eliminates the bacteria that causes bad breath. It helps control things like gingivitis, which is very, very important, and dental caries. So we've got a product that really works. We also have teeth whiteners in there. And the funny thing is, there's a number of natural toothpaste out there that say no fluoride, but it doesn't have anything else in it. Guess what? It doesn't work. Your teeth go yellow. It doesn't do really that much. And you might as well just take a toothpaste or a toothbrush and just brush your teeth for all it's really doing for you. So we've got a product that actually works and works well over time. And people that are using it, they have plain gums. They can use our toothpaste as a cream. You can go to sleep without worry about swallowing it after placing it on the gums, and you find out that it will support and calm and soothe your gums overnight. So we've got something very versatile, something very different.
Awesome. Thank you for that, David. So I know that we have a lot of customers that have been giving us feedback. Many of you on this call are talking about how much you love the toothpaste, and that is amazing. So I wanted to just quickly, David, welcome a couple of folks I didn't get a chance to welcome. Sylvia from St. Lucia, of course, Golnar, hello, sweetheart. We're at her headquarters with Saeed, Sina, Cheyenne, and I. Awesome. The new power team. And so I want to just reiterate, David, you talked about a couple of different components that are very important. So you talked about teeth whitening. This is huge. I'm just trying to get the toothpaste out of here. You talked about teeth whitening. Of course, that is a huge, huge element for many people, the tooth whitening aspect of it. And I got the toothpaste in my hand for all of you to be able to see. So we actually write on the package that it is fluoride free. And I know there's a little bit of echo in the background from David, but of course, this is super important for you guys to understand. A lot of disease, a lot of issues with your stomachs start to happen with fluoride. And David, I think the number you used for me, or you told us, was 20,000 patients in the USA. Was that the right number?
Each year. And that number is growing, and they can't believe it considering they put the warning on that. The U.S. government is really struggling with this one because they can't understand why the numbers have increased since they put on that warning. But they go, yeah, on average now, 20,000 U.S. citizens are admitted to hospital for fluoride poisoning from their toothpaste every year, with the number growing.
Wow. 20,000, that's a lot. So, of course, with fluoride, David, would you agree? I know that it is a controversial sort of topic where people say, well, I've always heard that fluoride is good for us.
Well, doctors, dentists will do a fluoride treatment. I don't want to, go against them. Like, they're well trained, they know what they're doing, and they have specific parameters by which they do it. They do a good job with it. So I'm not here to argue with that because I think that would be improper. And a fluoride treatment is designed to help your teeth. It's just that there's that controversy of whether we really need that much fluoride in our water, in our toothpaste, all these things that have fluoride. The governments are concerned because of its impact on health to the people. And they want to know, is this really doing anything? They haven't decided that.
Sure. And when it comes to, of course, one of the big things that we've always talked about is our kids. And we always talk about, kids, a lot of time when there's flavors in toothpaste and they ingest it, it's not very good for their stomachs.
It's very bad for them, in fact. You can give them severe poisoning from that. They were doing tests on that. They found out, number one, it increases the likelihood of diabetes for that child. Number two, the likelihood of poisoning is incredibly high. And so you really do not want to give a fluoride toothpaste to your child because we know that they're going to swallow it. Regardless of whether they say they spit it out, rinse out their mouths properly, they just don't. And so really seriously, there is a danger element to all of this that should be respected. The other thing is, it's really funny. When I drive to work each day on the 401, and I'm shocked at the number of women, I don't know men, women that brush their teeth on the way to work. I'm pretty sure they're just using a toothpaste, not realizing they can make themselves very sick.
So you mean they're brushing their teeth in the car?
Yeah, on the way to work. I see them in
water?
In the car, brushing their teeth on the way to work. So
wow.
There's women guilty of that. I don't know why. Maybe it's Toronto. Maybe it's because we're always brushed here. But, I find that very strange. But, yeah, I've seen them. I see them every day. So I don't think it's the same people. But it's funny that they do that.
Okay. Well, I know that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's dangerous. It's going to make them sick.
No, absolutely. So, David, I want to switch channels a little bit. I know you're driving, but I'm going to sort of read some things, and I want to get everyone's sort of input on this and really share with you. We want to cover an amazing topic of our main product called Fountain of Life. And I wanted to really reiterate to everyone, our slogan for this is, what if you could just use one product to protect and preserve your health? So this product is not about you being sick. This product is not about you needing to get sick to use it, but it's just a high performance natural antioxidant with surprising benefits. David, why do we say surprising benefits? Talk to me about that.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the researchers are as surprised as everyone else. You know, we were talking about this a year and a half ago, probably 2 years ago now, about its power as an antioxidant. But what we really didn't realize is the power of this extract. And the studies that are coming out now, and they're proving that it goes way beyond just being an antioxidant. We're talking about fat metabolism, lowering, our insulin resistance, lowering the amount of insulin our body has to produce, lowering blood sugar, lowering our weight. All these things that marry it to better health is coming out all around. And this is with the same lignin used in fountain of life. This is not a panacea, it's not a drug, but this is a functional food that has been lost through genetic engineering, through processing, and this is why our foods no longer have its protective value. We knew that it has been lost, but we didn't realize how much has been lost in our diets. And through this discovery, we're finding out how important it is. And, for us, we're surprised, but what really shocked me is the researchers that are looking at this going, oh my gosh, we did not realize how powerful this lignin, this extract really is. So, yeah.
So, David, I'm going to go back. I have some slides up. I want to talk a little bit about this because I want to really be clear who is really affected by free radicals. And when you look at the slides that I have up, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're a cigarette smoker, whether you're around Wi-Fi, radiation, sunlight, toxins, processed food, pollution, household chemicals, alcohol, even if you go to the gym and work out, you are affected by free radicals, mold, stress, virus, you name it. You are exposed to free radicals each and every single day. And the other part that David was talking about is that when you are exposed to these free radicals and pollution, well, guess what? Your bodies become overwhelmed and your good cells are being attacked. Also, oxidative stress can lead to significant health issues, including cardiovascular disease, cancer, dementia, and of course, making you look more aged. So it's very, very important to make sure that you are getting the nutrients that you need with your food. And of course, we know that you've heard plant nutrients that are known for lignans have nature's most powerful antioxidant. Is that right, David?
Yes, absolutely. And it's sort of funny, there was an article on the news just now that they're talking about how our cell phones are making us look aged, causing more wrinkles on our skin. It's because of the blue light. And really, to combat that, you have to have a powerful antioxidant diet. And it's really important for us to have that in our, in our meals every day and commit to that to prevent all these things from happening.
So that's actually why I put this slide up. Ladies and gentlemen, what are lignans? So I want to talk about this word because it's very foreign to most of us. Most of us have no idea what is a lignin. And David, I want you to try to use non-scientific words to explain to us what is a lignin.
Well, a lignin, I know it's a foreign word. I had to learn about this myself. A lignin is an antioxidant. Simple as that. It is found in the plant cell walls. And in particular for us, it is extracted from the knotwood stemwood from the Norwegian spruce tree. Lignans are, and so if you remember anything, it's an antioxidant. And it's converted in our body into a mammalian lignin or a mammalian antioxidant. And it's a very, very powerful source to reduce the impact of free radicals. The free radicals go hand in hand because free radicals are molecules missing an electron. And what happens is that if we don't have anything to loan that electron, it steals from a healthy cell and it causes damage over time. It's that, fountain of life has the ability to loan that free radical the electron, and what it does is neutralize the impact of that. I hope that makes sense.
I love it. Yeah. So one of the big things that I realize is that, a lot of times that we're getting sick because there's a lot of disease out there today in today's society, and there's a lot of new ailments that are coming out. And some of the things that I've been learning from our scientific team is that our foods have changed. Our foods have become processed. Our foods are not rich with the same nutrients that they were before. Our foods are not rich in antioxidants like they used to be. Therefore, when you are taking the fountain of life, you are giving back to your body some of those antioxidants that you're missing. So this is why this slide is important. Lignans can remove molecules created by pollution that can lead to potential health issues. Number one, lignans from wood extracts have been proven to show antimicrobial activities and anti-inflammatory activity, which are both in our fountain of life product, David, right?
Right.
So it's both anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antioxidant.
Correct. Well,
Is that powerful? Type an A for me in the messenger box. If it's powerful, type an A, type a yes, type a absolutely. Sorry, David, you were saying I got excited again.
No, that's good. That's great. You should be excited. It's a wonderful product. It's a chronic inflammation in our bodies, chronic inflammation, that leads to so many health issues. And we're talking from dementia all the way down to cardiovascular disease, arthritis, talking about diabetes, type 2. We're talking about cancer. All these things stem from chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is caused by free radicals bombarding our body. And if we can neutralize that effectively, it will mitigate the chances for these horrible things to develop. It's not a panacea, it's not a cure, treatment, or even a preventative measure per se, but it will lower the chances of this from happening because we need this in our diet. It's not optional. I think it's necessary for everyone to have this in their diet.
I love it. So another one, of course, trees are very unique plants, David. We talked about this. Can you talk to me a little bit about this amazing, phenomenal spruce tree?
Well, it grows in northern Finland, which is in a very, very harsh, a really harsh environment. And the fact of the matter is the scientists could not understand how it managed to live. It's disease-free, pestilence-free, lives for a long period of time. But the amazing part was when the pulp and paper industry cuts off the limbs and the knotwood, they couldn't figure out why the tree branches did not rot. And when they studied it, they discovered that it had the most amazing source of antioxidants or lignans from nature. And from that, they're able to develop the extraction process and create, the extract that's now part of fountain of life. And it's this tree that grows in northern Finland. It doesn't grow anywhere else in the world like this, So there is a difference between the Norwegian spruce that grows in northern Finland and let's say the Norwegian spruce growing in your backyard or even in southern Finland. The amount of antioxidants are vastly different.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And of course, David, we know that one of the big things about this powerful, powerful tree is that it's disease-free and lives for hundreds upon thousands of years. Yes?
Yes. Well, it's a long-living tree, and that's so interesting. And there's There's millions of them in northern Finland. And, you know, it's sustainable. It's sort of funny. Just, you know, someone asked you, is this sustainable? Well, Finland is really proactive.
David, you're muffling a little bit. I could barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stopped so I could talk a little easier. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, I'm outside my car now. Finnish forestry industry signed an agreement years ago to make it a sustainable industry. So it is, you know, sustainability is not an issue. They've been proactive about this for years, and there's going to be a constant supply of this for years to come. Perfect.
And David, you know, I have the screen up that we talk about how powerful of an antioxidant this is. So when we say discover the power of each drop, 10 drops is like 510 cups of lettuce, or 1,800 apples, or 50 cups of green tea, or 160 cabbages, or 50 cups of strawberries. Like, I mean, crazy stuff. How is that comparison, you know, different? What is that concentration? Is it equivalent to all of those things, just one of those things, and how?
No, yeah, it's just one of those things. So when we compared it, we were looking at the lignin count of each of these products. And it's sort of funny because, you know, as we've gone along, we discovered that lignins really don't exist in our diets like they used to. And the quality and the quantity of lignins is so low that we're no longer getting the nutritive benefits from what lignins used to be in our forefathers' diets. Lignins used to be abundant at one time, and that's why they think that there's been an opening for all these modern diseases, from mental health issues to cardiovascular problems to diabetes and cancer. They think that because of this, because we don't have it in our diets any longer, and if you take a look at the chart, you'll see how many items like green tea, lettuce, whatever it is, that we'd have to take to make up for 5 to 10 drops of our product. It shows you what we are lacking. And this is why that when people are taking Fountain of Life, they're reporting immediate impact, because this is something our bodies are craving.
Absolutely. And, you know, I don't know if, David, one thing I want to teach everyone, I don't know if you've ever had that craving of needing more greens or fruits, or you're craving some of the natural elements, but you got to really listen to your body. Now, if you are craving sugars, which is like chocolate or whatever, you may have a deficiency in vitamins and minerals. So it's really important to make sure that you nourish your body with powerful products, with safe products, such as, of course, our tremendous and one and only Fountain of Life. Of course, brush with our tremendous toothpaste. Of course, use your Fairy Flawless products. Be a product of the product, because when you are a product of the product, you can actually be a lot more powerful. Now, David, let's talk a little bit about what rich antioxidants do for our health, like protecting our health or protecting DNA. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, it is really important for us to have an antioxidant-rich diet. There's no doubt about that. Without that, you're opening yourselves up to the possibilities of so many issues developed by free radicals. And free radicals, as you just said, is a big, big issue that they don't talk about enough. You know, and we have to understand that free radicals lead to all sorts of issues. You know, and there's a whole generation that's coming through right now that are, it's sort of surprising. They're just not. Oh, I'm on now.
Give me 1 second. I was just sharing.
I'm at home now, so let me put myself on.
All right. Till David does that, I'm going to find Golnar. I'm actually going to get one of our own amazing new customers. Give me 1 quick second here. Hi, David.
Hi, Sinaz. Sorry about that.
No
I finally
worries.
just got out of traffic and back in. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you for jumping on. Actually, you know what, David? I have a special customer on the call tonight.
Right.
Actually, just became a member, and it's talking about all of the powerful things and antioxidants and what they do for us. So, Golnar, I am going to allow for you guys to talk, and I'm going to actually put Cheyenne on. So your video is on. I've turned it on. I wanted to get Cheyenne on. So can you just turn on your camera, my dear? Can you say hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, but I can't see you, Cheyenne.
Okay, 1 second. That was open. 1 second, guys. We're trying to get this working.
So, ladies and gentlemen, many of you have seen this gentleman's story, have heard of it. I've talked about him on multiple calls. I actually have him on tonight with us. He's a very special young man. He is one talented young gentleman, and he has a tremendous story from the Fountain of Life that I wanted him to share with each and every single one of you. So whether you've heard him, whether you met him, whether you've seen him, it is not, of course, important, but give me 1 second here. Golnar, were you guys able to get your camera on?
Hey, Sanaz, sorry, we're just having some technical difficulties.
Your dad's
No worries.
We're going to try to access through your dad's iPad.
How does that sound?
Okay, sounds good. When you guys are ready, let me know again. Me and David will continue, but I want you to share your story with us tonight. All right. So, David, we're going to continue until I bring on that powerful testimonial. But I also want to talk to you. I want you to talk to me a little bit about hair health, because we have been getting bombarded by phenomenal testimonials about hair health.
Yes. Well, there's two things that really happen here. For men, as we grow older, we develop an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. And 5-alpha reductase is an enzyme in our body that converts our testosterone to dihydrotestosterone. And the problem with that is that this is a very, very powerful form, and it actually shrinks the hair follicles and causes us to lose hair as you grow older. The other thing that happens is that it causes benign prostate growth. And so men will, as they grow older, will have an enlargement of their prostate, which affects their ability to void properly. And it's a very difficult situation for them. But in terms of hair health, it helps improve it because obviously it prevents the formation of dihydrotestosterone. But also when you're using it topically, when you massage it into your scalp, whether you're a man or woman, people reported better hair. And the reason that happens is because we have a reduction in the amount of free radical damage that destroys our scalps and our hair.
So let me understand this clearly. If someone is they're maybe having hair thinning, or they want to increase their hair volume, they can not only take it orally, but they can put it on topically as well?
Yes, they can. And it would be suggested, especially for women, because, women do suffer from that and a loss of hair over time, but that's free radical damage that's causing that. So, free radicals do cause a lot of issues, and we have to be aware of that. And
David, you taught me something really instrumental. You said that a lot of times when we're exposed to sunlight and our hair is getting sun beaming down on it, it actually damages our hair and makes us lose hair?
Yes, it can. The head is a very dirty area in our body, so yes, it can cause that, and it causes more issues than we sometimes realize. And so we get thinning of the hair, all sorts of issues.
So let's talk about the second point, where you were talking to me about hair health. Our hair is one of the dirtiest places. And you were saying when we go and sleep and put our head on the pillow, we're bringing that same bacteria onto our skin. That's why many people have a lot of skin issues. Is that right?
Yeah, that's one of the issues that we have, you know, and we continue to populate that overnight, you know. So there are some things that we have to really look at when you're in terms of hair health itself.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Verlin says, well, Sanaz, my fingers are all overexcited. My customer, you know, the one who's getting ready to share, hopefully this week, what a testimonial. Yeah, so sometimes, you know, we have testimonials and our customers are not willing to share. And you just have to be patient and give your customers time. This customer of mine that I'm just bringing on now, his name is Cheyenne. He's actually here at the office. Let me see if I can. Cheyenne, can you say hello?
Hello.
Is your video on?
It should be. Can you see me?
Nope.
Oh, can you send me a request for the video?
I am, give me 1 second. Technology. I'm going to promote you to a panelist and see if I could do that. So, there we go.
Hi. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so let me just do a quick intro. So this gentleman right here is a young, amazing gentleman, very powerful story. Many of you had heard me talk about him for many weeks, but no one knew who he was. Well, he is here in the office today in flesh and blood. He's also our brand new LA, so welcome our new member, Cheyenne.
Hey.
And welcome you, Cheyenne. Welcome you to the team. But most importantly, for people who don't know you, can you share with us a little bit about your story?
Yes, absolutely. Firstly, thank you so much for such an amazing introduction. So for everyone on this call who doesn't know me, my name is Cheyenne Harabi. I am a proud new LA with opulence. So that's first things first. But let me get into my story here. So about 3.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with alopecia areata. Now, just to kind of show you guys a picture of what that looks like, it might help for some of the people watching. I don't know how well you can see there, but there's a lot of area on my head that was covered in spots. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see that. 3 years ago, it started off with one spot here. That quickly traveled and took control of my beard, and I was missing my beard. Next thing I knew, it traveled to the back of my head, to my scalp. And probably about a year later, from the moment it started, I had lost about 90% of my hair. So spots were everywhere. Not only my scalp and the top of my head, my beard was covered. My eyebrows had started disappearing. I had loss of hair on my body. It was almost alopecia totalis, which is an entire loss of all hair on the body. So knock on wood, I'm standing in front of you all today with a full head of hair. And I'll tell you this much. I did everything. I went to 10 different dermatologists. I've seen immunologists. I've seen doctors from herbal doctors to naturopaths to ancient Chinese medicine. I have gone everywhere to try to figure out why I was losing this hair. And as a 23-year-old man at that point, it was very difficult because, you know, you think hair is trivial, but you have an attachment to it, especially when you start losing it visibly and other people start seeing it, it takes a toll on you. So I went down every avenue and to no avail. Nothing seemed to work. It only seemed to get worse and worse. And my treatment options got worse and worse in the sense that they were more detrimental to my health. I was doing cortisone shots almost 30 to 60 times a month. I was on methotrexate, which if any of you are familiar with it, it's given to patients with rheumatoid arthritis for inflammation. It's very hard on your liver, so I have to cut out any sort of drinking, any hard fatty foods on my system. So it took a real toll on me trying to find a remedy. After all that searching, I gave up. And I'll be honest, I completely gave up. I said, you know what? Maybe it's just my fate to not have hair. Took me somebody hassling me, which is my cousin. She's actually sitting in this room as well. She told me, listen, like, you have nothing to lose. It's only getting worse. Just try this stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you think something in this little bottle is going to fix my ailment, my hair loss, head to toe? You think this little bottle is going to fix it? You know what? I was super skeptical. I said, I got nothing to lose. I'm going to try it. I'm telling you right now, that was the best decision I ever made. The single best decision of my life, because 6 months later, and this is only 6 months, guys. Like, this is not 2 years or a year of me using FOL. This is 6 months of about 20 drops under my tongue every morning until I realized that I could put it on topically as well that I'm doing now. But it was just 20 drops under my tongue every morning. And even before the hair started coming back, I already saw a shift. There was a shift in inflammation. There was a shift in my itchiness that was coming along with having this chronic inflammation. And I didn't know what it was. And then I realized, wow, like, it could be this FOL that I'm taking every day. Stayed on it every day, every week. 1 month turned into 2 months, turned into 3 months. And then all of a sudden, I just saw the hair coming back. All my family members are telling me, whoa, what did you do? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I only did one thing, and that was taking this Norwegian spruce extract from this company. And I'm telling you guys, I also lost weight because of it too. So all the stories that you guys and all the testimonies that you might have now of people losing weight because of FOL, it actually helped drastically speed up my weight loss process. So just so you guys know, this might be a little bit of a boast and a brag, because I'm proud to say it. I lost 80 pounds in this journey of recovery, and I can't be happier. And it just made an entire shift in my life. And that's why I'm sitting in front of you guys all today, a proud user of FOL before I am a seller of FOL. And I think that speaks volumes, because any product that you sell, you want to be able to stand behind. And I wholeheartedly, not only to my friends and family, but to anyone I meet, I just ask them, hey, you heard of FOL? And they kind of look at me peculiar and they say, oh, what are you gonna sell me now? But I'm telling you, this is something that you guys can really stand behind, because it works. Like, I came out of the biggest hole of my entire life because of this single product. So Sanaz,
I'm going to rewind a little bit, Cheyenne, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, I could listen to your story 1,000 times, and I'm like this. I'm like glued to the screen, just listening to you. You're amazing. So a couple of different things. Number one, you told me a couple of different stories that I want you to share with everyone that's on tonight. A little bit of a training. Number one was you had a lot of inflammation from your alopecia, and you felt like there was pulsing in your hand from a lot of the excessive blood flow that was happening for you. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the symptoms of my alopecia was this weird sort of inflammation. I guess that's what I started calling it. It was as if blood was rushing to my palms, and it wasn't a regular blood. It was like this hot, achy feeling, kind of itchy feeling. It would come to the palms, and I could feel it. It was very noticeable. It wasn't like a slight tingling. It was very noticeable. My palms would get hot, and I'd be running around to everyone like, do you see this? Do you see this? And I'm like, no, man, we don't see anything. And I'm like, something's going on. I can feel something on a molecular.
Now I want to ask David from a scientific view. David, can you tell me from a scientific perspective, what is it that Cheyenne was feeling when he felt these blood vessels pumping hot blood in him? Is that inflammation?
Well, there's inflammation, but inflammation is chronic inflammation that he's really talking about. That's impacting his body. You know, alopecia is a very tough thing that men and women go through, and it's really hard to see, how impactful that can be. So it's amazing to see how this has made a difference in someone's life, and it's nice to see that we've had so much success with it.
Yes, we're super excited. By the way, the first time I met Cheyenne, he was wearing a toque down to here. I couldn't see his eyes. I couldn't see his eyebrows. He was wearing a scarf up to his neck. Didn't talk. We were at a football game.
In the middle of summer, Sanaz. In the middle of summer.
In the middle of summer, he was wearing a toque. We were watching a soccer game. He was quiet. Now you guys can see just the vibrancy in his soul. So as a user of this product, I'm proud. But you also went and saw an alopecia, again, expert or dermatologist, Cheyenne?
Yes.
You said he had been studying for how long, or he had been treating patients?
Yeah, so If you're familiar with the hospital Sunnybrook here in Toronto, it's one of our most prestigious hospitals. I had the pleasure of getting a one-on-one sit-down with the head of the alopecia study department in Sunnybrook, and they have actually, from the knowledge I gained from the gentleman, from this doctor, he told me that in the past recent 5 years, he's seen an exploding rate of alopecia cases coming up that he had never seen, and he's been practicing for about 30 years, and he's saying that in the past 30 years of practicing, only in the last 5 years has he really been treating a lot of patients with alopecia. And I asked him, I said, well, what do you think it is? Because I was wondering, I was really asking this question for myself, and he said, you know what, I think it has a lot to do with diet. He's like, it's the only thing that makes sense. It's the things that we're eating. We're not getting enough antioxidants. We're not getting enough of these greens, these raw greens that we used to get in our diets. We're not getting them anymore. And that's taking a big detrimental toll, and it's coming out. It's almost, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost quantifying itself as these ailments that we have no real diagnosis for. So if you go to the doctor today and ask them about alopecia and how to treat it, they don't really have a good direction because it's such a hard disease to treat, like all other autoimmune diseases, whether it's rheumatoid arthritis or it's alopecia, lupus, right? And you hear these things more and more. So I really think that the amount of polyphenols and antioxidants that are stuck to each of these drops is so potent that it's giving that kickstart. It's giving that boost that the immune system needs to now do its job. Because when you have an autoimmune condition, and this is only from my knowledge, and maybe David here can kind of clarify that, the challenge is that for whatever reasons, the white blood cells start to think that they are fighting these antigens and these foreign I guess diseases, but in turn it's actually fighting your own immune system. So we're having a trouble deciphering, well, what do we do, or at what point did these white blood cells go wrong? And so there's so many unanswered questions, but more importantly, how do you treat it? You know, people who are dealing with these conditions, they have no treatment availability to them. And the challenge with that is you're stuck. You're literally stuck. And I know for the thousands, millions of people who deal with these autoimmune conditions, it's terrible because you just want, it's paralyzing. You want to be able to at least just start a treatment, but there's nowhere to turn. And if we can get the word out that this product specifically has such an impact for me and my alopecia, who knows the impact that it could have on people dealing with lupus? Who knows the impact it could have on people dealing with chronic inflammation and all the other ailments that we can't really quantify as of yet. So,
I have my final question for you, Cheyenne, is how would you say Fountain of Life has changed your life?
Immeasurably, indescribably. I can't put a name on it. I can't put an amount on it. If 2 years ago when my alopecia was at its worst, a year and a half ago my alopecia was at its worst, and you asked me for all the money I had, I would have given it. Okay. So to tell you the least, it is the biggest, for me at least, the biggest life-changing thing that's happened to me. And that's the reason why I'm sitting a part of Opulence, proudly selling this product, and I stand behind it. And I encourage all of you who are on this call, or to your immediate family, to the person sitting next to you, tell them, even if it's just for maintenance daily, take it. Because there's something in it that we are not getting critically in our diet, and we need it. As humans, we need it.
Thank you so much, Cheyenne. So last question I have that's come up from people. People are asking, are you taking the drops orally, or are you putting it topically?
So when I started, I only knew that I could take them orally. I didn't know that there was a topical application to FOL. I am now currently taking it orally and using it topically. So I take about 20 drops every morning, and then I'll take 1 drop per spot that I have, the major spots, and I'll kind of just run my hands through them and so on and so forth. And
tell me the first time that you took Fountain of Life, what you felt, let it taste like, and how you deal with it today.
Hold on.
This is where the cousin comes in. Hi guys.
This is Golnar.
I literally stuffed it down his throat. He's like, "This is so bitter," and I'm like, "You're gonna take it." And then a month later, my FOL's done. Where are you? And now he's in LA.
Yeah. So in terms of taste, the best way I'll describe it, it's like it's just like a wood taste, a strong wood taste. It was uncomfortable like when they're set up front just because I wasn't expecting it. But you know what? Once you kind of build that taste, it's completely like, it's not even foreign anymore. I'm almost looking forward to it in the morning. It's like a palate cleanser for me. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, where's my FOL? So kind of has that woody taste to it. It's a strong wood taste at first. And this is what I would say you should tell any customers taking it. It's less strong than oregano oil. So if you found that people have taken oregano oil in the past as like a health maintenance, this is less strong. It's less lasting in your taste. It goes away with a little bit of water. You don't need to wash it down with orange juice or coffee. Just a little bit of water right after it and you're good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. I'm going to read a couple of comments for you, and then I'm going to get David on to answer some questions. I mean, people are just overjoyed by your testimonial. You can go and read them. But the last one, Cheyenne, God continuously bless you. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing life-changing testimonial. People are overjoyed for you. What a blessing. I mean, thank you to Cheyenne. Thank you for sharing a very personal story. I know for so long I couldn't even get you on the phone, let alone getting a video testimonial. Now you are here. Now you just joined us as well. So welcome to the team. Thank you for your testimonial. We love you and we're so happy for you.
Thank you so much, Sanaz. Honestly, the team here is indescribably amazing on every level. You guys have not only been great to me and made me feel whole as a family, but you guys have shown me what true meaning of a good business is. So thank you again, and I can't wait to work with everyone.
Absolutely. And Cheyenne is amazing, ladies and gentlemen, where he is there to support each and every single one of you. That's why he was kind enough to jump on our call tonight. David, talk to me a little bit about the bitter taste that we have when it comes to the Fountain of Life. You know, Fountain of Life is, of course, something that not everybody at the beginning when they start to take it are ecstatic because of the bitterness. But what does that bitterness do for you?
Well, you know, there's like we always talk about the 5 taste sensations. We're talking about sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. And you know, it seems that the worst out of the lot really is bitter. And so,
bitter is also good for your kidneys as well, right?
Well, bitter is good for our body, period. And one of the things that they've learned over time, that bitter used to be one where they thought the products were, it's a warning, but they discovered that it's more like an awakening to our system. So it's been very important for us to understand the value of bitter with anything that we're taking. And so, you know, bitter allows us to open up those channels of our taste sensations. We are naturally driven towards sweet products. And that's one of the problems in our lives, is that we like sweet. And when we start going into that, it's a bit of a problem because we overindulge. But bitterness has opened up new avenues for, for new chefs, everything to create bitter dishes to get us away from the sweets that we sometimes crave and alter our taste sensations in that way. So, and why is that important? It reduces the amount of sugar that we take in each night or each day. And if we can reduce the sugar consumption, of course, it's good for our blood sugar. It reduces any of the neuropathies associated with diabetes type 2 and all the other associated problems with that. So,
okay.
Resistance.
So I have a couple questions for you, David, that come up from our customers. I have some questions from my customers. If they're taking vitamin D, can they take FOL with it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Vitamins are vitamins, and actually there must be a reason that you're taking it. But be aware that if you take an isolated vitamin, you should be taking other things too, because you're missing some things. So please do that.
Cheryl, you asked when did he start taking it topically? So he's been using it now orally for about 6 months. It's only been a couple of months that he's using it topically. I have another question that comes in. After chemo treatments for one of my customers, my friend has been experiencing neuropath in the hands and feet up to her knees. She's been having some numbness, no feelings. Do you think that Fountain of Life can help her address her issues?
Well, there's a lot more going on there. You know, the thing is that I think you're asking a lot for the product. We got an antioxidant. The person went through something very traumatic. It's funny how many people would say that they've been through chemotherapy, all these things, and they take Fountain of Life and they feel nauseated. Well, not realizing that it's the chemotherapy that does all this. You know, chemotherapy is very hard on the body. No doubt about it. And
Because chemotherapy actually kills the good and bad cells. Is that right?
yeah, it does. It's not specific that way. They try and target, of course, but yeah, it's very hard on the system that way. So is it gonna, you know, if they have a neuropathy from it, you know, it's gonna take a while for it to heal itself. And it has to go through a healing process. So please be aware of that. And you know, it's not gonna hurt after chemotherapy. There's a lot of good things because you're gonna be free radical rich in your body, of course. So you want to reduce that, neutralize it. You want to neutralize that inflammation that it causes. Once you're clear of that, once you know that the effectiveness of the chemotherapy is set, then move forward with something. And I would take Fountain of Life only because it will help the chronic inflammation that you're experiencing.
Okay. Thank you for that, David. So Shelly writes, this is powerful. I'm convinced. What plans do you guys have to bring the product into the world infinitely? And when will it be shipped to the U.S. in Maryland and the USA? So I can answer that for you, Shelly. We are already shipping to the United States. We do shipments every single week. So if you place your order, we are now shipping. You may have tried to place an order when we first launched. It was not available in the United States. It is now, number one. Number two, we're currently working on expanding many different regions. We've grown internationally. We are shipping to over 100 countries right now. So every day we are working. David, who you see on the call with me, has been instrumental in a lot of the product approvals into the different countries. So that is those questions. How long can FOL last in a bottle of shampoo? Is it okay to mix FOL and leave it in a bottle or use the drops every time that we're shampooing or using lotion? I love this question. David?
Well, you know, when you've got a bottle of shampoo and you're mixing in FOL, you know, you want to do a 5% solution of it at least, right? So what is that? That's 5 mils per every 100 mils. So it's 10 mils over 200 mils, 250, so it's 15 mils. So if on the average, if you got if you have a 250 mil bottle, just add in 15 mils, shake it up. You know, Fountain of Life's got a shelf life for years, so you don't have a problem with that. But you have to shake it up to disperse it each time. But you want at least 5%. I think it's just far easier just by placing some on the scalp and massaging it in before you shampoo your hair. Gives it time to set. The reason being is shampoos are wash-off products, meaning that, you know, it's removed. So you want to keep it on as long as possible.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you've already put the drops in your shampoo, shake it the next time you're going to use it. But the great thing is, do you guys want some inside scoop since you stayed till the end of the call? Drum roll. So your Posh Captive shampoo, body wash and conditioner is almost here. It's going to be released, fingers crossed, by next week. Yay! So I'm super, super stoked. And of course, for those of you who know, it's already mixed and formulated with the Fountain of Life in it. But here's the really cool thing that I do. After I shower and I rinse my hair off, David,
Yeah.
I basically put a couple of drops of FOL and I rub it into my scalp to make sure it's there all day. I know our CEO did a challenge where you could put it on topically under your armpits to use it as a deodorant, because what it basically does is that it actually protects from odor. How amazing is that? Because it's antibacterial, antimicrobial. So those are the great things that we have. And this is the kind of things that we're super excited about. So again, we are super, super excited that we're going to be launching our Posh Captive shampoo conditioner. By the way, although we designed it for women, I've used it and it's phenomenal. So definitely do that. Another little trick before we go that I want to teach you guys. For those of you who have inflamed gums, if you actually put FOL, actually Vernisha taught me this in St. Lucia. If you actually put 1 drop of FOL on your toothbrush, it will change the hygiene of your toothpaste and your toothbrush. Because remember, your toothbrush sits there when it's wet and it collects bacteria and dust. So when you put the FOL on it, it actually will kill the bacteria on your toothpaste. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you don't miss these Monday night calls, because every week we have something new for you. Every week we have something, you know, as a special guest, a special training. And I hope that tonight was inspirational, motivational. You learned something new. Of course, I know I loved and enjoyed listening to Cheyenne tonight. Thank you for sharing. David, as always, I love, love, love hearing from you. And of course, your knowledge, your vast experience of the decades of experience that you have. I'm never supposed to say decades because it makes him look old, but David is just a wealth of knowledge. And, you know, I absolutely enjoy working with you. I look forward to building an empire with each and every single one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are building the $1 billion journey. We are building the billion. And I hope that you see the vision, the passion, the excitement towards the billion. So with that, we're going to post this video that was recorded in the back office tomorrow. With that, I want to say to the billion, love you guys. Have an amazing night. Don't miss tomorrow night's call with our CEO. Tomorrow, we got a new special treat. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. And of course, have an amazing night. Thanks, David. Thank you, everyone who joined. A good night, good morning, a good afternoon, wherever you are. Good night, everyone.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.